Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to Wrestling Chat, episode number 18. So, I do apologize for the ghetto background drop that I have. Well, not the background drop, the intro to the show. Every time I do, well, when I do the show, usually what I do is I have a layout already made up for the show, and for some odd reason, as of late, my internet is acting up, and I couldn't seem to get that program open this morning. And when I set up the presentation for this week's episode, for some reason it didn't upload and it didn't work, whatever. So that's why I wrote it out this week. So we got ghetto. It is July 15th, 2016. We are in episode number 18 now, so my apologies about, the opening to the show. Usually I have something written out and made up through the PowerPoint presentation, and I normally have something made up, so my apologies. Hopefully next week we'll have something different. Hopefully the internet will be working better and I can have the presentation, more put together before, do the episode next week. Okay. So anyways, that's not that, has nothing to do with, wrestling. So anyways, okay, so to get started for this week, there's quite a few things to talk about now. I didn't fully end up watching everything on SmackDown last night, and I can't get online to check all the results. So I can only say that I know a few of the matches that, who won and whatnot. I know a little bit of what happened on SmackDown from last night. But I guess what I want to go over is, well, there's actually quite a few things. But I guess what we'll start with today is, so WWE, they're releasing WWE 2K17. And from what I read online as of 2 days ago, or actually I think it was yesterday on Facebook, that WWE is going to release two versions of WWE 2K17. So the first version is going to be WWE 2K17. It's going to have Brock Lesnar on the front of it. That'll be the first version of it. Now, I just read on Facebook they're going to release an NXT version of that. And the NXT version is only going to be, well, the stores are limited. 50,000 copies per store. So, now I don't know for NXT if that's going to have Shinsuke Nakamura on there, because he seems to be very talked about as of late. So I'm thinking maybe he will be on the cover. I don't know per se what their plans are for that, but yeah, 50,000 copies per store. So there will be an NXT version out of that, and what I'm assuming is the NXT version will have, I'm thinking maybe just the NXT guys in it, or it'll have everybody in it. I don't know what the plan is for the game. I don't exactly know what they plan to do for the game. All I know is that's cool. That Shinsuke Nakamura, oh man, if I could talk about him for a minute, he actually has. I haven't seen much of NXT, but boy, that guy can fight. He's from Japan, and he is just downright one of those straight to your face kind of guys, and the fight between him and Finn Balor on it was Wednesday night. That was a good match. Shinsuke Nakamura defeated him. They gave a battle. They were fighting left and right, and they definitely, those two guys in the ring together, man, they can fight. They definitely can. They definitely know how to battle in the ring. That's for sure. So I definitely think when the draft comes about, I think it's going to happen where both those guys will get a call up to the main roster. If they don't, I'll be surprised. Now, speaking of that, and speaking of the draft, and speaking about people getting brought up to the main roster and this and that, I honestly don't think NXT is going to discontinue now, because why I say that is they have an NXT episode planned for next week. Now, if they didn't plan to continue the show, they wouldn't have set a show up for next week. So next week it's going to be Rhino versus Samoa Joe on NXT. Now, currently NXT carries their own belt, and right now Samoa Joe is the NXT champ, and I believe he won that from Finn Balor in the cage match not too long ago that they had. So that's cool. And Samoa Joe, I mean, he's had a resume. He did, he was in TNA for a little while, and he was the champ over there, and he's done his due, and he knows how to fight. So, well, I guess we'll have to, plan and, see what happens. I mean, it would make sense if they did split it up and they discontinued NXT. But what they might do, now that I've got thinking about it, now with the roster changes and all that, I'm thinking I know what they're gonna do. I think what they're gonna do now is they're gonna keep NXT. They're gonna keep NXT, but they're also gonna bring up only a certain limited amount of stars, like Enzo and Cass. They'll come up to either Raw or SmackDown, and that's another thing. Like if they get split up in the draft, then they won't be tag team anymore. They'll probably start a feud with each other or something like that. And then, I mean, it would be cool if Cass. If this is something I was just thinking about in the back of my head. It'd be cool if Cass actually ended up turning heel on Enzo, because they're such good buddies on the show that nobody would expect it. And if that did end up happening, that'd be cool. If they ended up, going and start a battle with each other, and that'd be cool. So let's see. Well, time will only tell, I guess. Can't really, keep wondering what's going to happen with it, and what's not going to happen with it. But like I said, I haven't seen much of NXT, but NXT is making a name for themselves. I mean, they got some good talent come out of there. Like I said, Enzo and Cass, Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura. I mean, they got some good talented wrestlers coming out of there, and if they don't stay around, then they don't. But I'd be surprised if they don't, because they're making a name for themselves. And like I said, time will only tell. We do have an NXT episode coming up next week, so well, which, by the way, in this one, so everybody knows, next week there will be 4 wrestling shows, not 1 or 2, but because Tuesday night SmackDown officially goes back to Tuesday nights starting this coming Tuesday. And this coming Tuesday will be the draft. So everybody's going to be traded to Raw or SmackDown, and it'll be back to where it used to be. And so there'll be two split brands, and back to where it used to be, where each pay-per-view will be a different brand. Like Raw will get one, SmackDown will get one, and vice versa. So once a month they'll have their own pay-per-views. So that's cool. They're gonna split that brand up again. Okay, so that's cool. So yeah, starting next week, we'll have four wrestling shows. We'll have Monday Night Raw, we'll have Tuesday Night SmackDown, we'll have Wednesday Night NXT, I think, and then Thursday will be TNA. So, if I'm going to talk about TNA for a few minutes, I just saw TNA a few nights ago. I've actually tried to get back into watching it again. Because a few weeks back I couldn't. For some reason it wouldn't let me watch it. It just kept doing the repeat of the show, and wouldn't let me watch it. Some malfunction in the, on the TV guide or whatever. I don't know what's going on with it. So I tuned in. I stayed at the girlfriend's house there a few nights ago. And I'm sitting here watching it, and they opened up with, Matt Hardy and Jeff Hardy. Matt Hardy's character is getting ridiculously stupid. I mean, it's dumb. He's portraying this, like, Sweeney Todd character. If you guys seen the movie Sweeney Todd, well, right now Matt Hardy's character is basically being Sweeney Todd, and he's chasing Jeff Hardy in the storyline. That's what's going on right now. And I must say, it's getting ridiculously dumb, because it's not even... It's one thing in the storyline, but it's like they're having wrestlers now do these movie characters, and I don't know. It's getting ridiculous. I honestly think they need to drop it. Have Matt Hardy turn into something different, because it's not what I'm expecting. And Jeff Hardy is just... He's a great athlete, and I don't know. Like I said, I turned away from TNA for so long that I didn't know what was going on with the show. And now that I'm tuning back in and I'm seeing what's going on with it, I'm like, ugh. Like, when are you gonna pick it back up, guys? And moving to Thursdays, I don't know if that's even gonna save them now. Now I think about it, from watching last week's watching this week's episode, I was like, I don't know, what to do and what to say about it, because I mean, let's face it, it's not going to compete with WWE. It never will. WWE is more famous and more popular. People like it better, because it's always going to be more popular. They're always going to get more fans because it's huge. It's a bigger company. It's ran better. They know how to run their business. And WWE, for one, has WWE Network. It'd be cool if TNA did a TNA network for, like, maybe, I don't know, give or take, say they did TNA network for like $6.99 a month or something like that. And have the pay-per-views and the show and whatever. But the thing is, here's the little thing about that. TNA can't do that. You know why TNA can't do that? Because they're financially broke. They can't afford it. That's why they're trying to get a fan base. They're literally running their show out of a warehouse right now. That's how bad that show is. I tune in and watch it because it's wrestling, and I'm like, hey, it's wrestling. What's on a Thursday night? What am I gonna watch? What am I gonna watch? I like wrestling. Whatever, I'll tune in. I haven't watched TNA in forever. screw it. I'll put it on. I'll watch it. Whatever. So I was at the girlfriend's and yeah, tuned in, watched it. And I don't know. I was expecting, you know, a better episode, and I mean, it literally is on the Pop channel. It literally is half of the channel like this, and the rest of it is the guideline. It's on the TV guideline channel, you know? That's why a lot of people are like, well, what the heck, can you fix it? No, can't fix it. They're put on the Pop channel. It's like if someone's bad, you put them in the corner, you know, if they're bad. TNA is on the Pop channel because they're not getting their ratings up. That's why they're put on the Pop channel. They're not getting their ratings up. So why would they be put on a channel where people would be able to see a full screen? They're put on a Pop channel for a reason, and the reason being they're not getting the fan base like they used to back in the day. When TNA was going, first off, when TNA started, they had a great fan base and they were always on. Like I said, you know, like clockwork. Every Thursday night, full screen and all. Ratings were good then. They were still doing good ratings. But in the past couple of years, honestly, ratings have gone down. And like I said, I think a big part of it, I don't think they can afford to do the show much. They're losing a lot of talent. A lot of talent is going to NXT, and a lot of talent's moving up to WWE. I don't know. If TNA doesn't end soon, I'll be surprised. Or, it's so crazy. They don't even call it TNA anymore. They call it Impact Wrestling. They actually changed the name now because, God forbid, I don't know why they did, but they did. So, anyways, that's what my little, you know, bitch fit was, and now, like I said, I can't do much about it, you know. So anyway, speaking of TNA, Bobby Lashley was scheduled to face EG3 for the NXT title, or not NXT, the TNA title, and it was title versus title, and he didn't end up fighting him because it was rudely interrupted by one of the guys that is on EG3. I think EG3's side, whatever. So next Thursday, Dixie Carter, which is basically like TNA, which is basically like TNA's Vince McMahon. Dixie Carter said that next week, to begin the show next week for TNA, that Bobby Lashley and EG3 will have a title versus title to kick off the show, since it didn't happen this last week. So, like I said, man, I'm hoping for TNA to get better, but at this point, I'm not going to hold my breath. You know, like my girlfriend has said it, and everybody else has said it, WWE is better. It's a better brand. It's more popular, and that's where it's at. I mean, why do you think we got the WWE Network? Why do you think we're always, you know, why do you think WWE is always coming close, you know, for shows and whatnot? It's because it's popular. It's more popular. It's always going to keep running because they have good talent coming out, and people will watch it. Like I said, this whole storyline with Matt Hardy is ridiculous. They need to drop that character, and they need to do a different character. Because it's like Shakespeare crap, you know, and I have nothing against that, but what does that have to do with wrestling? Just saying, you know? So anyways, moving on. That's enough about TNA. We've covered TNA this morning, so. Anyways, Shane McMahon, as of Tuesday morning, he made it publicly official on Twitter as of Tuesday morning July 12th, 2016. That he's agreed to SmackDown, makes WWE SmackDown official on Twitter. He will make it official on Tuesday or Monday on Raw, so which would be the last Raw with him until he fully goes over to SmackDown and changes over to that. So I like Shane McMahon. He's a good dude, and I think he knows what he's doing. He's gonna run SmackDown, and Stephanie's gonna run Raw. Who knows who's gonna be the better one? Because Shane knows what he's doing, and well, Stephanie not so much. Even though the ratings have kind of gone a little bit, Raw and SmackDown and WWE brand, they know what they're doing, and they're doing what they can to keep this show running, and you know. Oh, so that's covering Raw. So, regarding WWE Battleground, we're not gonna see Charlotte defend her title, because now it's gonna be Sasha Banks and a tag team partner facing Dana Brooks and Charlotte at Battleground. So the title won't be on the line. I'm kind of bummed. I thought it was gonna be, but that won't happen at Battleground because, well, starting a feud with her, and now Dana Brooks is all like, yo, I'm gonna beat you up and this and that, and so for that storyline, that we won't see that, unfortunately. But the matches that we will see at Battleground are Enzo Amore, Cassidy. Enzo, I don't know why I keep calling him Cassidy. Enzo Amore, Cass, and John Cena will face The Club and AJ Styles. Now, AJ Styles and The Club, they fought Enzo Amore and Cass last night, and I think they won. But like I said, I turned my head away from it from a little bit there. I had some errands I was doing or whatever. And also, Sami Zayn will face Kevin Owens at Battleground. Also, The New Day will face the Wyatts at Battleground. Also, there's going to be Randy Orton on a highlight reel with Chris Jericho at Battleground. This is all at Battleground. If you don't have the WWE Network, please get it. For the first time in the same ring against each other for the title, Dean Ambrose, Seth Rollins, and Roman Reigns for the World Championship. What else do we have that day for that pay-per-view? Quite a lot for the pay-per-view as of now. What else? Trying to think off the top of my head. I think we covered everything. Oh, Natalya versus Becky Lynch at Battleground. And if there's any other matches that are going to be confirmed, they'll probably say something this coming Monday. Considering Battleground is next Sunday night, they'll probably announce it on the show tomorrow, this coming Monday. So this coming Monday will probably be more matches included, and you know, it's definitely a pay-per-view not to miss. It'll be a good one if anybody, you know, like I said, if anybody can get it, you know, find a way to do it. I guess find a way. If you don't have the money, find a way to go up to your parents and be like, "Hey, Mom, can I borrow $30?" to go and get. And I actually know a lot of my friends that don't have it right now, that would like to have it, and they just financially can't afford it. And like I said, I'm lucky enough to have mine paid up until December. And then in between now and then I'll buy a couple of cards and get it paid off or whatever. It just sucks right now. My internet's not working, so it's like it's kind of hard to be able to get on to watch it. And that's the only downside. That's the only downside with WWE with the network. If you don't have the internet and you're not near a Wi-Fi spot or whatever, then you're pretty much screwed. It's not really worth going and buying if you don't have internet. So just saying. If you don't have the internet, then it's not going to help. It's not going to work. Not going to work out if you don't have it. It's a cool investment, though. I mean, it's really cool. I mean, I can't remember when they actually started doing the network. I know they had been doing it for a little while, but I don't know how exactly long they decided to do it. How long they've been doing it for. That I don't know. That I don't per se know. All I know is they've been doing it for a little while now. So. And at some point I'm hearing, I don't know if it is gonna happen, but at some point I'm hearing they're gonna, for the next day, they'll have cards where you can get Raw and SmackDown the next day. But for me, somebody like me now, where I do end up getting to see all the episodes, not working right now, I get to see all the episodes. So for somebody like me, and for someone who actually does get the episodes the day of, it'd be pointless to spend the extra $2-3 to do that. Like I said, I'm going back through and I'm rewatching everything all over again. Stuff that I missed when I was, at work. Pardon me, excuse me, I had a burp coming on. So when it's stuff I missed, I'm catching back up on it. I've been catching back up on my wrestling and went back through and watched, some Bad Blood last night. Bad Blood 2004. The Hell in a Cell match with Shawn Michaels and Triple H, and went back through and watched that last night. That was a good fight. I remember getting that pay-per-view when it first aired. My parents, like I said, always used to order us the pay-per-views, and like clockwork, we always got them. Almost every time a pay-per-view came up on that Sunday night, we tuned in, had the snacks, watched it as a family, and we all watched it together, and it was, good stuff. And I don't have much of SmackDown results from last night, but from what I've seen from the two fights I did watch, Sasha Banks, she's a fighter. She can fight, that's for sure. She made Dana Brooks tap out. So she defeated Dana Brooks last night. And Dolph Ziggler defeated Rusev. I was wishing it was for the damn title. And I think at Battleground he is facing him for the title, but I'm not sure. I'll have to check into that. Also, Darren Young. Darren Young will be facing Miz at Battleground. He's the #1 contender. Miz basically made fun of Bob Backlund last night on SmackDown. Bob Backlund is an icon and definitely a legend in the sport. People who don't like him, if you don't respect him, it's like, you don't have to, but he's a good wrestler. And if my internet ends up working, which I'm gonna definitely try to get it working today, I'm gonna watch a old pay-per-view later. And the old pay-per-view I want to watch is the Hell in a Cell match with Undertaker and Mankind. That was a badass match. Definitely gonna put that on later, I think. So, like I said, I didn't really get many results from SmackDown last night because like I said, I tuned in, and then with my internet not working right now, it's kind of crazy. So. Oh, and one other thing. At some point, probably gonna have a co-host. I've been saying it for a while. It's just hard. The person that I want to have as co-host lives in Burlington, and we've been trying to, connect and meet up to film an episode together. So me and him are gonna try to do a show together at some point. I asked him last night, and he agreed to wanting to do it. So whenever I connect with him and we kind of, communicate a little bit better, and we plan something out, he'll come on the show, and he'll be able to, talk with me, and we'll be able to do an episode together at some point. I don't quite know when, but it'll happen at some point. And when it does, it will definitely be put on. He'll definitely come on the show, and when I know more about it, and when we plan something on about it, I will announce it here on the. I'll announce it here on this show, and I'll let people know when I do have someone come on. It's been me solo for 5 months now. So February, March, April, May, June, July. So February, March, April, May, June, July. So almost 3 months, 3.5 months. So yeah, I mean, been doing the show since February. It's going pretty good. We've done 18 episodes, 82 away from 100 episodes. Also, something I wanted to announce. At the end of this month, I am going to be doing a special episode. So it'll be actually July 31st. I will be doing a Roddy Piper's special. So wrestling chat that day will be strictly Roddy Piper. We'll cover everything on Roddy Piper's career. I'm probably gonna show highlights of him. Depending on the internet, obviously, if my internet's up and going. So yeah, that'll be strictly a Roddy Piper episode. We'll talk about Roddy Piper and his 1 year death coming up at the end of the month. So that'll be strictly Roddy Piper, and that's only about Roddy that day. So we'll do that episode. That's July 31st. And that's at the end of this month. So there's an extra episode for this month because of that reason, and to show respect. And I was on last year's episode when he died with Nick from Wrestling Hour. I actually did an episode with him, about Roddy Piper, but that was hearsay and whatever. But anyways, that'll be at the end of the month. I'm gonna plan to do that. I'll try to get a guest for that one. Somebody, if I can't, then it'll be me solo, and we'll do it up. We'll do it up for Roddy. you know. So that'll be cool to do that. I guess. Oh, let me see here. So yeah, we covered SmackDown, covered NXT, TNA. So I guess next week it'll be all brand new times. Well, not brand new times, but everybody moves back home. You know, TNA moves back to Thursdays. SmackDown moves back to Tuesdays. NXT will stay on Wednesdays, and Raw will stay on Monday. Because Monday Night Raw wouldn't be the same if it was like Friday Night Raw. That'd be kind of weird, but you know. And like I said in the last episode, they really need to bring back Sunday Night Heat or something, because I love wrestling during the week, but I like wrestling on the weekends too. And when there's not a wrestling show on the weekends, it's like, what the heck, you know? What am I gonna do with myself? No, what am I gonna do? WWE is gonna be in New York City tomorrow night for the SummerSlam Heatwave Tour. And a list of guys that I know are going to be there are the New Day, I think the Wyatts. Roman Reigns was going to be there, but he's still on his suspension. So Dean Ambrose will be there. Rollins, I think, will be there. John Cena, I think, will be there. Kevin Owens will be there. And I think it's everybody right now, because like I said, it's till the draft happens. Everyone's going to jump on the show here and there. Kevin Owens was funny as hell last night. And he's like, Sami Zayn got my kid this card for his birthday last year, my godson, and this all he could afford was $20 Canadian money. All while I'll take it, puts it in his pocket. So those two as of late have been having a rival, and that's great, because it's something that not everybody can be nice all the time in the business of sports. I mean, look at Evolution. They turned on Randy Orton, you know. Look at DX, you know. DX, that time when Shawn Michaels got put through the glass on Raw. I remember that. You know. It's Raw wrestling. The thing is, people have to turn into heels at some point, because if they don't turn into a heel, they're always a goody two shoes, and what's the point of that? You know what I mean? So I mean, it's good, you know. It's good for Sami Zayn and Owens to be fighting and having a feud right now. So that'd be cool. Anyways, I think we pretty much covered everything today. Like I said, Monday Night Raw coming up. We got Tuesday night SmackDown, and the draft happens Tuesday. So after Tuesday, the rosters change up. Everybody goes somewhere different, and so be it. And we start next week with 4 wrestling shows in a row. So that's 4, guys. That's 4 nights to look forward to, and then Sunday night will be the pay-per-view. So technically 5 out of the 7 days you get entertained by wrestling. And the Heatwave Tour is going to be cool. They're going to New York 3 days this... Is it 3 days this weekend? No, this weekend they'll be in New York 2 days. So they'll be in New York City tomorrow night, over at Madison Square Garden in New York City, where the Knicks play. And then they'll be in the Civic Center, Glens Falls Civic Center, on Sunday. So they're definitely going to New York a lot this year. They're going to be in Newark, New Jersey, They're going to be in Brooklyn, New York for SummerSlam at Barclays. And if anybody can get SummerSlam, that's August 21st on the WWE Network. It's going to be Randy Orton versus Brock Lesnar. That's going to be cool. I guess there's a 14-year build-up for these guys, so I guess they've never really fought yet. So that's new. That's news to me. I thought they could have swore they locked up before, but I guess not. So I guess, yeah, like I said, there's a lot to look forward to next week for, as far as the wrestling aspect. There's a lot to look forward to. Still no news on The Undertaker. Nobody knows. I don't know. Nobody knows what's going on. So we'll leave it at that. We'll see what goes on, what happens. And from there, like I said, we get entertained next week by four wrestling shows and then the pay-per-view Sunday. So 5 out of the 7 days will be entertained. That's like 100 hours of wrestling right there, so can't get any better than that, right? I'm not going to complain. I think it's cool. Like I said, they got to bring Sunday Night Heat back for Sunday or something to entertain people on Sundays, you know, before the pay-per-view. I mean, they have the kickoff show, but whatever, you know, that's kickoff show, right? It's not like Sunday Night Heat, where Sunday Night Heat was on, it's televised. You know, I'm saying for people who can't afford the network right now, make it fair to people who can't get the network right now. Make it fair for them. Because by only putting everything on the network, it's kind of like, what the heck, you know? And the Scott Hall, something I wanted to bring up. The Scott Hall, they recently put it on the network. The Scott Hall story, sorry. The Scott Hall story. It's only 30 minutes of his documentary. To get the whole thing, you got to buy the DVD. Unfortunately, that's something I mentioned before, but you can't actually get it on the network. You have to actually go and physically buy that. So stuff like that, like Ultimate Warrior, Owen Hart, and the actual like DVD stories and stuff, you got to buy those. Unfortunately. But as far as everything else, you can get everything else on the network. But that's the only thing. That's the downside about it. So, like my friend Adam said, you don't get everything on the network, even though you think you do when you pay that price, but you don't. So, well, I think we covered everything today. This has been episode 18, guys, and moving forward from here. Well, this has been Wrestling Chat with me. I hope you guys enjoy. When I get a chance, I will be uploading this video as soon as I can get the internet rolling again and get connected. This has been Wrestling Chat, guys. I hope you enjoyed. We'll be back next Tuesday. So, something else I wanted to say. I will be doing 2 episodes a week now. Okay, so I will be doing an episode on Tuesday, and then I will be doing another episode on Fridays. So there will be 2 episodes in a week. I'll be doing Tuesdays and Fridays now for Wrestling Chat. That way we get all the wrestling news covered, and everybody gets to get caught up on it. Because I know when you don't get to see it, you're like, what the heck happened? You know? So, that'll be something that'll continue to happen. Something that kind of started this week, and it's something I'm going to do moving forward. So, we'll be back next We'll be back next Tuesday, guys, and enjoy. And it'll be entertaining on what happens in the draft, and I'll bring it up on the Friday's episode when we figure out what happens. So we'll cover everything next week. Until then, guys, this has been Wrestling Chat with me. Behave yourselves and enjoy the weekend. So, thanks again, guys. We'll see you next week.